BetterSax players, Jay Metcalf here. You know, last year I made a video entitled "The Best Saxophone in the World?" It was all about the hype and mythology surrounding the Selmer Mark VI saxophone. My conclusion in that video is that the Selmer Mark VI is a great saxophone, and it is the standard to which all other saxophones are compared. It may not be, however, the best saxophone for everyone out there. Now, of course, many people got the wrong impression from that video and thought I was just bashing the Mark VI. That's not the case at all. I've actually owned 3 of them. Now I've just got one. I keep it around because, as I said before, it is a great point of reference to compare other instruments to. So, what is the best saxophone in the world? Let me show you. I happen to have one right here in this box. This is the Yanagisawa W010 alto saxophone, the best saxophone in the world. Actually, no, it's not this one. I've got a better one. This is the Yanagisawa W033, the best saxophone in the world, along with some of these other ones. Follow me. These are also the best saxophones in the world for me. We've all got our own individual preferences and tastes. What makes these the best for me is mainly they're the ones I've got and the ones I play and make my music with. So let me know in the comment section below what the best saxophone in the world is for you and why. I'm going to take you through a few of the features of the latest WO series from Yanagisawa and let you know why I think they're the best saxophones in the world from the perspective of a player and a repair technician. Now, as a repair technician, I can say hands down that these Yanagisawa saxophones are the best built saxophones out there available. They're really in a league of their own. You know, doing adjustments or repairs on one of these instruments is a pleasurable experience, whereas with some other instruments, they can be a little bit frustrating. As a player, ergonomically, nothing beats it. When you have one of these in your hands, it just feels like it was made for you. The keys have a very solid feel to them, but at the same time, it's extremely fluid and natural. It's just a pleasure to hold in your hands and action the keys. The sound you get from a saxophone has a lot more to do with the player behind it, their sound concept, their mouthpiece and reed setup, than the saxophone itself. What everyone who plays Yanagisawa loves about them is the consistency of the tone and the response over the entire range at all dynamic levels. No one would ever say that this saxophone is better suited to jazz or classical or rock music because it just allows the player to play whatever they want to do with total freedom. A lot of people, when they're looking for saxophones, ask, does it play in tune? I got news for you. Saxophone players play in tune. The saxophones themselves, not so much. I've never had a horn that you could just set one embouchure and one voicing and play every note in tune without making adjustments. That doesn't really exist. It's just the nature of an instrument that has lots of different acoustical compromises built into the design. Having said that, Yanagisawa has managed to minimize the effects of these compromises, giving us probably the most consistent tone quality and intonation of any saxophone being made. It's a beautiful instrument, and I'm not just talking about the fine hand engraving, the sleek underslung octave key mechanism, and the overall look of the whole thing. There is a beauty in handmade things that are built to this level of precision and excellence. There's nothing flashy, no gimmicks. The beauty of this instrument speaks for itself. I own 6 Yanagisawa saxophones that have been built over the last 30 plus years, and the consistency of these instruments is astounding. And as good as the older ones are, the newer models just keep getting incrementally better and better. The WO series saxophones come in 2 models, professional and the more expensive elite. These horns are nearly identical in every way that matters. The tube, the keys, the springs, corks, felts, and key pearls are the same with both models. Here's a breakdown of a few of the differences between the 2 models. The WO Elite models come with double arms on the low B and C keys. This adds another level of stability to these keys. This is a feature I used to love because these keys can use a little extra support sometimes. But to be totally honest, it's not actually necessary. The models I have from the professional series without the double arms are so well made that these keys are equally stable with the single arms. I think this is something that they started doing a long time ago because it was an issue with other saxophones. However, their own build quality has rendered this obsolete. There is also an extra connector on the left-hand pinky stack that connects the C sharp key to the B key. This is another feature that I used to think was really clever because this can be a sloppy mechanism on some other saxophones. Well, once again, Yanagisawa has made their own innovation obsolete. With the professional models I own that don't have this little gizmo here, I would never notice a difference going back and forth between these 2 keys. It works just as well. On the professional models, they don't have a pearl on the G sharp key like they do with the Elite models. Now, I thought this was going to be an issue for me, but I don't even notice a difference. Now, perhaps the most significant difference between the professional and the Elite models is that the Elite models are built with ribbed to body construction and the professional models are built with post to body construction. What does this mean? Ribbed construction means that all of the different posts holding the keys in place and allowing them to swivel and turn are attached to one long piece of metal that gets attached to the saxophone. The professional models with the post to body construction just have each individual post soldered on to the saxophone. This results in less metal. The lesser expensive saxophone actually has less metal on it than the more expensive version. This can have a minor impact on how the horn feels when played, but whether that difference is better or not is up to the individual player. If we go back and look at some of the old vintage horns like Kahn's and Bischer's made in the USA, these horns had the post-to-body construction and they play great. Once again, the Yanagisawa saxophones are made so well that for me, the difference in the ribbed or post construction is just the weight of the instrument. On tenor, I prefer a lighter horn. That's one of the reasons I really like my Mark VI because it's a very light saxophone compared to my Yanagisawa T880, which is pretty heavy. This is also why I prefer the professional model Yanagisawa on tenor because it's lighter. One could also say that the extra metal on the exterior of the horn can darken the sound of a saxophone. My WO2 tenor is made of bronze, which already darkens the sound and weighs slightly more compared to the brass model. Less metal on the body is a nice way to balance out the weight and the sound. Finally, there's the neck. On the Elite models, you've got the signature underslung octave key, like on this one here. On the professional models, you've got the traditional style octave key. The neck itself is identical. The only difference is what metal is soldered on to it and where. And once again, I think that the Yanagisawa quality has rendered this difference in design almost entirely cosmetic. The professional model necks sound just as good to me as the Elite models. And really, I find both designs beautiful. When you play one of these, people can see from a mile away you're playing a Yanagisawa. One thing I love about my WO2 unlacquered tenor is that it looks like a vintage saxophone. When people see me playing that thing, nobody knows it's brand new. The only other thing you get with the Elite model is slightly more elaborate engraving. The case is identical. The case is fantastic, by the way, as well as the mouthpiece it comes with. So once and for all, if you're thinking about getting yourself a Yanagisawa saxophone but aren't sure which model to get, don't think that the Elite ones are a better sounding horn or a better built horn. They just have a few extras on them that really are just extras. There are some minor differences in how the two models play, but one is not necessarily better than the other. Some players are going to prefer the sound and response they get from the lesser expensive models. When I ordered this tenor saxophone, I had actually ordered the Elite model. When it arrived, I was so excited, I opened up the case and I saw right away, this is the thing that gave it away, I saw right away that this was just the professional model. And I was disappointed and I planned to send it right back. But I had to play it first, of course. After playing this for a little while, I realized very quickly what a great saxophone it is, and that I don't actually need any of the extras that the Elite model comes with, and I prefer the lighter weight. I haven't spent a lot of time with the professional level altos, but the ones I have played were neck and neck with the Elite models. I think with these WO series saxophones, Yanagisawa has really narrowed the gap between the two different models to the point where there's very little difference when it comes to the things that really matter most. Now, recently I became a Yanagisawa endorsing artist through the Selmer company, which distributes their instruments in North America. If there is one maker of saxophone things that I can endorse with absolutely zero hesitation, it's Yanagisawa, and I'm very proud to do so. I want to send out a very big arigato to Hiremasa from Yanagisawa in Japan, who helped me make this video and organized a loaner saxophone for me, which was provided by Roland and Valentin here in Yanagisawa, France. So a big merci to you guys. Remember to let me know in the comments section below what the best saxophone in the world is to you and why. If you like this video, go ahead and click the thumbs up button. If you're not already subscribed, get yourself subscribed to the YouTube channel, and be sure to follow BetterSax on Instagram and Facebook, where I post tons of bonus content daily. Thank you for watching, and see you again very soon in another BetterSax video.